So, the fully playable online testing has come to a close, and it's only fair that I give you my thoughts about the game in general. So far, it's pretty much what I would expect for a beta testing, and boy, has this game given me memories of the olden days when games would be in beta testing for at least a month, if not longer, and I'm really happy that we're back to this kind of testing again after 11 years. Like, seriously, can you believe Bloons Monkey City is 11 years old now? Or it's going to in November anyway, in terms of the Flash version's public release. To believe that some people that are watching my videos these days were toddlers when that game first came out is just crazy with how fast time flies. I will have another Bloons Monkey City video on my channel very soon, speaking of which, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let's talk about this game, Bloons Card Storm. Is it worth playing? What kind of stuff would I like to see in terms of the game's monetization? Don't get me wrong, I want ninjakiwi to succeed, on both fronts that is, as both ninjakiwi Europe and the New Zealand divisions are cooperating to design this game, which is the first of its kind. Longtime viewers of my channel know about my criticisms of ninjakiwi in the past, in particular with the European division, but nonetheless I am looking forward to this game's release. But there's no guarantee on if I'll have any kind of time to play it. In the meantime, I'll be using footage from other users for these videos for any BCS updates that interest me. In general, though, I have been distancing myself from ninjakiwi games with other priorities in my life that I have to prepare for. Well, let's get this thing started. This is a PvP game, just like Bloons TD Battles is, but there are plenty of gameplay differences to note between the two. Even when comparing to the card battles that the Steam version has to offer, the gameplay is still significantly different. In general, the game environment here is rather easygoing, and you have a lot of time to prepare. Compare that to Bloons TD Battles, where reaction time is critical to surviving rushes, especially in top-level gameplay. So if you're someone that is a fan of competitive gameplay where you are directly competing with someone else, but find Bloons TD Battles to be too fast-paced, then Bloons Card Storm is for you. Sure, there's contested territory and party crushers in Bloons TD6 and Bloons Pop respectively, but they're forgetful now, let's be honest. When it comes to deck building in this game, your cards are expendable. Once a card is used, that is all, for the most part. Unless you use the Expert Negotiator card, which you are effectively stealing cards from your opponent, or the Return to Sender card, which gives a card back to your hand. Card Battles in BTD Battles Steam doesn't have any of this, though it still has power cards of its own. Unfortunately, ever since the 6.0 update, these power cards don't feel as unique anymore, but that's not to say this mode is completely forgotten, because my friend has been working on a mod specifically for card battles that gives most of the original charm back into the game. This video is not sponsored, by the way. Go ahead and check out the links in the description if you'd like to play it for yourself. The final comparison to be made here is the Bloon hierarchy. This should already be self-explanatory with all the footage that has been out, but there are some more interesting takes that I figured I'd add to this. Aside from a special set of cards, the nested bloons do not exist like in the traditional Bloons TD games. All the bloon properties have been changed or reworked in some way. Rainbow bloons are stronger than ceramics, for some reason, even though it's normally the other way around. Regrow bloons still exist, although they don't regain layers, but instead in the form of regenerating health either to themselves or an allied bloon. As for camos, well, that's a secret. Let's get to some more questions, shall we? There's a new Dev Diary out, and you'll want to stick around to see the new cards that will be added to the game. Or maybe you already peeked at it if you saw all the links by now, but I won't be shy. I'll start by addressing some speculations I had about the game before. In my last video, I said that Agent Jericho could be one of the first heroes in Bloons Card Storm, but it has been confirmed to not be true. We also won't have a guild-like feature, or paragons, how would they work anyway, at launch. What we will have as a new hero, however, is that magician lady on the title screen. Yes, it's female, get used to it. I already know about most of what she does when it comes to the name and the abilities, however the cards that she has are still unknown. That's right, every hero has 3 cards that will be unique to that character, and we have only seen 1 for each so far. 2, actually, if you have seen the Reddit post. They come with some new keywords too. Obens comes as the form of a rework, as the Wolf passive is now its own card. There's also this card that specifically activates when Bloons leak and not be popped beforehand, like the others. Seems pretty meh from the first looks of it, and seems to only be meant to counter decks that don't have defender cards in them, which is hard to catch these days. Perhaps there's a reason why you can do 3 Bloons with this card. Oh, you thought I was done there? Well, hold on there, Buster, because in my last video, I also talked about how shields will return. Take a closer look. In the bottom left corner, there's a new shield card as well. Wow. Sadly, the next part of this does come with some disappointing news, and yes, I'm still talking about my last video. I was certainly getting ahead of myself with this one last time. There are only going to be 4 heroes on release, those being Quincy, Gwendolyn, Oben, and some happy-go-lucky magician. Finally, I want to get to the monetization part of the game. I would like to cover some more questions, but I wanted to stick with the main theme throughout the video and didn't want the video running longer than it needs to be. After all, this is supposed to be just my thoughts about the game. When it comes to crafting tokens, there is one for each card class, whether it is a tower, power, or balloon class, in addition to a universal token. These will be earned through daily rewards as well as PvE content like I mentioned before. This does seem like a lot of different currencies still, but do note that the list of cards that these will be used for will forever expand, and this is just a nice way to simplify and future-proof it. I initially had the idea of making every day give you a random card for the daily reward, but I like giving the tokens more since it offers you a choice on what to craft. And the daily card still exists, you just have to pay monkey money for it now. Another thing I had in mind that ninjakiwi doesn't seem to care about is the ability to sell or scrap cards for a partial amount of tokens refunded. It turns out once you reach the max amount of cards that can fill a deck, then it will automatically convert to universal tokens. As for what that max amount of decks is, that still has not been confirmed by NK. All we know is that for the open beta, the only cards that will be available from the start are from the Quincy starter deck, and the most number of decks I have seen is 8. I still think that this is a great monetization opportunity for ninjakiwi to take advantage of. Start with being able to make 3 different decks, and for the price for a few bucks each, you can add an extra deck and make as many as you'd like, if you're willing to shell out all the money. I would like to see something similar for Battles 2 emote packs, by the way, much like what the first game has, although those can't be customized. Last thing I want to take home is that ninjakiwi has stated that there will still be many changes made to the open beta release for the game, and that there are no more closed beta, limited testing, or whatever the terminology is these days. I can't seem to keep track of all the names, and my 2013 vocabulary and this kind of stuff feels archaic now. It is certainly an enjoyable experience so far, and I'm looking forward to the public open beta release.